Hello, beautiful learners. Hopefully, you're doing great, and I'm also good by the grace of Almighty. So, it's day 30, and in this lesson, we are going to practice IELTS listening practice test with answers and proper explanation for achieving band 9. So, before going to start our class, I just need to check whether the sound is good or not good. Okay, let's check it. This lesson we are going to practice IELTS listening.
Section 1. Listen to the conversation between Megan and Ken. They are deciding how they will spend the evening. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
Okay, I hope you can hear me as well as the audio track. Okay, let's move on to listen the instruction as he was saying. Okay.
Section 1. Listen to the conversation between Megan and Ken. They are deciding how they will spend the evening. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7.
So he was saying first we have to look question from 1 to 7, and here is a sample one. We need to listen it, okay, for experience or for getting accustomed to the test. Okay, let's listen for the sample one. So it says like, the question says like, what is Thomas' new home phone number? Okay, so Thomas' new home number, we need to listen. So the answer is option C, and let's listen it.
There is an example which has been done for you. The conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello, Megan speaking.
Hello, Megan.
Hello, Ken. I'm glad you called. Thomas asked me to give you his telephone number.
Is that his office number or his home number?
I can give you both. His new home number is 9452 3456. Would you like his office number?
I think I have it. Does 97314322 sound right?
That's it. But the home number is 9452 3456. He moved in last week.
Good.
So I hope you got the answer. Let's move on to the real exam. Okay, so here, what will Ken and Megan do this evening? Okay, we can't highlight keyword for this question because it's a picture, so we can't copy and highlight the text. Okay, so here we can see maybe it's volleyball or reading books, or it's badminton, or it's dancing. Okay, so let's listen it for proper answer.
I've got that. Now, what would you like to do?
Thomas's home telephone number is 94 has been circled because you will not hear answer questions 1 to 7.
Hello, Megan speaking.
Hello, Megan.
Hello, Ken. I'm glad you called. Thomas asked me to give you his telephone number.
Is that his office number or his home number?
I can give you both. His new home number is 9452 3456. Would you like his office number?
I think I have it. Does 97314322 sound right?
That's it. But the home number is 94523456. He moved in last week.
Good. I've got that. Now, what would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to go dancing, but Jane's hurt her ankle, so she'd rather not.
That's a pity. I guess it means she doesn't want to play tennis either.
That's right. She says it's okay to go bowling if we don't expect her to do well.
Okay. Let's do that. I guess we can go dancing another time.
Well, I booked us some time at the bowling alley of Entertainment City. Do you know it?
Is it on Smith Street, down near the university?
That's right. It's on the corner.
Okay.
That's right.
That's a pity. I guess it means she doesn't want to play tennis either.
That's right. She says it's okay to go bowling if we don't expect her to do well.
Okay.
Okay, so answer would be option A, because let me explain it to you as let me explain it to you from the first. The Ken was saying, "Good, I'm quiet now. What would you like to do?" And the Morgan was saying, "Well, I would like to go to dancing, but Jan hurt her ankle, so he would rather not." So, and then Ken was saying, "Ken, that's pretty." Ken was saying that that's pretty. I guess it means she does not want to go to play tennis either. And Megan was saying, "That's right." She says, "It's okay to go to bowling if we don't expect her to do well." Well, so that's why the answer would be bowling, option A. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 2. So here we can also highlight the text because it's a picture, as you can see, but we need to listen it. Okay, let's zoom it. Okay, so the question is, where is Entertainment City? Okay, let's listen it.
Okay. Let's do that. I guess we can go dancing another time.
Well, I booked us some time at the bowling alley of Entertainment City. Do you know it?
Is it on Smith Street, down near the university?
That's right. It's on the corner of Smith Street and Bridge Road.
Okay, so Morgan was saying that, well, I booked us sometime at the bowling alley of Entertainment City. Do you know it? And the Ken was saying, is it on the street, Smith Street, down near University? And Morgan was saying, that's right. It's on the corner of Smith Street and Bridge Road. So here we can see in option B. Option B would be the answer. Here we can see he was saying. Let me zoom it. Oh no. In option B, we can see here it's as she was saying, it's on the center of Smith Street and Bridge Road. Okay, so that's why the answer would be option B. Now let's move on to the next one. Let's zoom out it. Okay, now here we have the question like, when will Ken leave? When will Ken leave? Let's highlight and let's listen it.
What time did you book it for?
The first booking I could get was 8 o'clock.
Okay, it's 7 now. What do you want to do first?
Well, I think we should leave now. We can meet at the bowling alley.
I can't be that quick. I have to call Thomas to start with, and I need to get changed.
Okay, I think I'll leave in 10 minutes and meet you in there.
That makes sense. I'll take my car, so I'll be quite quick. I'll be out of here in half an hour.
Okay.
So Ken was saying I will be out of here in half an hour. Okay, so that means half an hour means in 30 minutes. Okay, so that's what the answer would be option D for 3. Okay, let's listen it for question number 4. So here it also a picture, so we can't highlight the question or keyword. How will Morgan travel to entertainment city? By bus, car, or taxi, or train? Let's listen it.
Okay, you're so lucky to have a car. You can get around so easily.
Well, yes.
Okay, you're so lucky to have a car. You can get around so easily.
Well, yes and no. I often spend ages driving around trying to find parking. Traffic can be very bad.
Well, that won't be a problem for me because I'll take the bus. It goes right past my door, and I'll have plenty.
Okay, so she was saying well, that would be Morgan was Morgan was saying Megan was saying, well, that would not be a problem for me because I will take the bus. So here we can see in option A, it's talking about bus. So option A would be the answer. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. How many people will they meet there? Okay.
Anytime.
Sounds good. Who else is coming?
I think nearly everyone from the afternoon class will be there.
Which class? The big maths?
Okay. So Ken was asking who is else who else is coming, and Megan was saying I think nearly everyone from the afternoon afternoon class will be there. Okay, so that means the answer we should select is option D. That means they, because they didn't specify with a number, but she was saying everyone, so everyone is relevant to a group, so that's why the answer would be option D. Okay, let's move on to the next one. How much will the evening cost? Mm, evening cost, let's highlight and let's listen it.
Class or the afternoon tutorial?
The maths class. What's more, we get a concession for large numbers.
That's good. I'm trying to keep my expenses down this month.
So am I. I expect tonight will cost about $20.
You must be good with money. I expect it to come to nearly $40. So, how are you going to manage that?
Nearly $40. Okay, he was saying nearly $40. So it can be less than $40, but here it says more than, so it should not be the answer because he is saying nearly $40. So it's quite relevant to option C. That's why I selected. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. What time does Megan plan to come home? What time Megan come to home? Okay, let's listen it.
Well, the bus is cheap, and if I come home early, I won't have time to spend too much. In any case, I have to be up early tomorrow morning, so I'd really better try to get home by about 11.
That reminds me.
Okay, so um, she was saying in any case I have to be off early uh, tomorrow morning, so mm, I would really better try to get home by about 11. So 11 means before midnight. Okay, because at 12 it's midnight, so she was saying by 11, so that means it's before midnight. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Here it's an instruction for us, one number for each answer. Okay, just keep it in your mind and let's read it. Which number will can press if he wishes to order a cab now. So if he wishes to order cab now, let's listen it.
I have to phone the taxi company for my mother. Goodbye, Megan. I'll see you later.
Goodbye, Ken.
Ken calls the taxi company, ready to answer questions 8 to 10.
Hello, this is Acme Cabs. If you wish to order a cab now, press 1. If you have placed an order...
So the man was saying if you wish to order cab now, press 1. So that's what the answer be 1. And let's listen for question number 9. If he wishes to order a cab for later, so order cab later, let's listen it.
If you wish to order a cab now, press 1. If you have placed an order previously, press 2. If you wish to make an advance order, press 3. Please...
So for advance order, press 3, okay, because he will be order for later, so it's similar to advance. Okay, that's why I choose 3. Now let's listen it for question number 10. If he has lost something in club, press...
If you wish to make an advance order, press 3. Please be ready to tell us your street number and name. If you wish to speak to the radio room supervisor, press 4. If you want to inquire about lost property, press 5.
So for lost property, press 5 as well saying. So 5 would be the answer. Okay, so that's all about part 1. Let's move on to part 2. And here's another instruction for us: no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. Okay, so here you can see holidaying in Greek. Here we can see departing Wednesday at. We are going to maybe listen a number. Let's listen it.
As you listen to the first part of the talk, answer questions 11 to 16.
Good morning, everyone. I'm getting very excited about this trip to Greece, and I'm sure you are too. As you know, we didn't have all the details at our last meeting, but I can give them to you now. We leave London Gatwick Airport on British Airways next Wednesday. Please be sure to be at the airport by 4:30. I know it's early, but our departure time is 8:25 a.m.
8:20 our departure time is 8:25 a.m. So 8:25 a.m. would be the answer. Okay, 8:25 a.m. Okay. Now let's listen it for question number 12. Transport from Athens airport by blah blah.
We're quite a large group, and we don't want to have any hassles. Please be sure to have all your travel documents ready. We'll arrive in Athens at 2:25 in the afternoon, and there'll be a vehicle there to meet us. It'll be a full-size coach, so
it will be a full-sized coach. So you can just also write the whole thing full-sized coach, but or you can just write COACH coach. Okay. Now let's listen it for question number 13. Hotel accommodation for blah blah nights.
Everyone can travel together. We'll spend 3 full days in Athens, and we booked for 2 nights accommodation in the hotel.
2 nights accommodation. 2 nights accommodation in the hotel. So 2 would be the answer. Okay. You can just write 2 in number, or you can just write it in word. TWO. Okay. Now let's move on to next one. Question number 14. Dinner. Okay, sorry. This free time on blah blah evening. Let's listen to it.
The second day, we'll go to the National Archaeological Museum to see the enormous collection of ancient Greek works of art, antiques, statues, a brilliant display. We'll eat out at a typical Greek restaurant on Thursday night. It's going to be a very busy time in Athens. Friday morning and afternoon, we'll visit historic sites, but we have nothing planned for the rest of the day. On Saturday, we're off to the islands, the Greek islands of ancient myth and modern romance. Now, the big news. At first...
Okay, so Friday, as he was saying, it's going to be very busy time in Athens. Friday morning and afternoon will be visit historic sites, but we have nothing planned for rest of the day. So free time on Friday evening. Okay, because he was saying, okay, he was saying it's going to be very busy time in Athens Friday morning and afternoon, but he didn't mention evening, so that's why Friday evening will be free. Okay, that's why I already wrote that. Let's move on to the next one. Travel by blah blah Greek islands. Travel by.
We thought we'd take a ferry, but we've been very lucky to secure a sailing boat which is big enough for all of us.
Okay, so he was saying a sailing boat. So let's travel. Oh no, sailing boat would be the answer. Okay. Now let's listen for question number 16. Experience blah blah on board. Let's listen.
I'm really excited about this part of the trip because we'll see the islands to the best advantage and we'll be able to cruise around and sleep on board. We'll get off at different islands, and for one part of the trip we'll have people playing Greek traditional music actually on board with us. Okay,
so here's a saying: we'll get off at different islands, and for one part of the trip we will have people playing Greek traditional music actually on board with us. So the answer we should write, you can just write the whole thing like Greek traditional music, or you can just write traditional music. Okay, music. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 17. Okay, here we can see here's another instruction for us: no more than 2 words for each answer. Okay, just keep it in mind. This tour owes its success to hard work of. So success to the hard work of blah blah. Let's listen it.
Now, I'll pass out a brochure with all the details.
Now look at questions 17 to 20. As the talk continues, answer questions 17 to 20.
A lot of work has gone into organising this tour, and I'd like to thank in particular the travel agent who got us a really good deal and the people at the British Museum who offered us such good advice. Trips like this only happen because of the hard work of really expert people.
How hard work of really expert people. So expert people would be the answer, okay? EXP expert people. Now let's listen it for question number 18. So let's highlight some key for this question. The tour group shares an interest in learning about ancient societies and blah blah. Let's listen it.
As you know, we have planned a gathering for when we return. I have a list of things which the committee would like you to bring to the party. They are your pictures and something to eat for everyone to share. You are bound to have people ask what we have in common and why we are travelling as a group. I suppose the answer is that we are interested in learning about old societies and vanished cultures, and we all enjoy travelling.
So old society and vanished cultures. So vanished culture would be the answer, or just you can write cultures. So I'm going to just write cultures, not the whole thing, okay? But you can write the whole thing, okay? Cultures, okay. Now let's listen it for question number 19. Okay. So here's another instruction for us. Okay, let's read it. No more than 2 words and a number for each answer, okay? Okay. Complete the baggage level. Let's listen it.
Of course, we enjoy fine food too, but that's not as important. Nearly forgot the last piece of information. You will see there are labels which I have passed around for you to put on all your luggage. Could you fill them in, please? On the top line, please write Greek tour.
On the top line, write Greek tour. So the answer would be Greek tour. T-O-U-R. Okay. Let's listen for question number 20.
And on the lower line, write in block letters, I mean uppercase, the letters AA and the number 3. That's AA3.
Okay, so he was saying AA3. So that's what I already wrote. Now that's all about part 2. Let's jump into part 3. Okay, here's another instruction for us. No more than 3 words for each answer. Okay, just keep it in your mind. Okay, now let's highlight some code for this question number 21. The increase in student numbers from Brazil result in student number from Brazil resulted in, let's listen it.
Act 5.
Welcome to the Language Learning Centre. I'm Joanne Robinson. You must be the reporters from the Examiner. Please come in and sit down.
Hello, Dr. Robinson. Yes, we're from the Examiner. I'm Cheryl Perkins and this is Don Klim. May I start with a question? Did this college really start with Brazilian students?
It did. The Language Learning Centre was founded in 1985 to look after a group of students from Brazil who wanted to study here. Those 20 students soon grew to 60, and as you can imagine, we had severe accommodation problems.
So severe accommodation problem would be the answer. Okay, you can just write accommodation problems. Okay, accommodation problems. Problems. Let's listen it for question number 22. The large number of students from Turkey, whatever you say, are studying blah blah. Students from Turkey are studying. Let's listen it for.
Somebody said that you were in the old amenities block right near the engineering school.
They have a good memory. Yes, we were there because the university hadn't believed we would expand so quickly. The problem wasn't solved until we moved into these new premises in Bancroft House in 1987.
When did you start taking students from other countries?
About 1990. We now have students from 13 different countries enrolled, and we expect a large group from Turkey next month.
Yes, we've noticed a lot more advertisements for Turkish restaurants in our advertising section.
Well, 40% of our students come from Turkey, by far the largest single national group, and I believe there's been an influx to the rest of the university. There are a lot of Turkish students studying hospitality.
Do you offer anything?
So she was saying there are a lot of students. There are a lot of Turkish students studying hospitality. So hospitality would be the answer. Okay. Hospitality. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The Indonesian students studied. Let's listen it. At the Language Learning Center. Okay, let's listen it.
Anything special to the students?
Yes, we do. There are several things which make us rather different from other language schools. English is certainly not restricted to English for academic purposes here. Sometimes we have extra classes for students who have particular courses in mind. And we have just said goodbye to a group of 30 Indonesian students who were preparing for a university course in agriculture. They came to us for English for farming, and they were with us for a long time.
So she was talking about like Indonesian student, and then she was saying they come to us for English for farming. So the answer would be English for farming. Okay? For farming. Farming. Okay, let's listen it for question number 24. Okay, I can highlight it. Okay, I can it. Okay, the blah blah course helps to settle students down. Let's listen it.
We miss them.
How long do students usually stay at the Language Learning Centre?
It varies. So I'll talk about the average. Most of our courses last for 5 weeks. But to make any real progress, a student needs to be here for at least 3 terms. That's 15 weeks. The students do better if they have a little time to settle in at the beginning of the course. And we offer an orientation course that lasts a week. Most students take it.
So she's saying that students do better if they have little time to settle in at the beginning of the course, and we offer an orientation course. So orientation course will be the answer. Okay, let me write it down. Orientation. Okay. Okay, let's listen it for question number 25. Blah blah is the best form of advertising for the language learning center. Let's
It helps them to settle down, and it gives us plenty of time to test them and place them at the right level.
How many people are in each class?
We sometimes go up to 18, but our average class size is 14 students, and some classes have as few as 7 participants. It depends on the needs of the group.
You were saying that you miss your students when they go. How do you attract students? I mean, how do they hear about the Language Learning Centre in the first place?
We're included in the university advertising and marketing, and we have our own website. The thing which works best for us, though, is word of mouth. Students who leave us often...
So word of mouth would be the answer. Okay. Word. Oh no. Word of mouth. Mouth. Word of mouth. Let me explain to you. As she was saying, the thing which work best for though is word of mouth, and she was they was talking about advertising and marketing. So the answer would be word of mouth. Okay. Now let's move on and let's listen it for question number 26 to 30. Okay. So which student can join the following activities? Let's highlight it. Write correct letter B or C next to question number 26 to 30. Okay. Non-English language courses. Okay. Let's listen for first.
As the talk continues, answer questions 26 to 30.
In the student newspaper.
We do try to get our students to be part of the wider university.
How do you do that? Do you encourage them to join the sports centre, for instance?
Indeed, we do. The sports centre is always looking for active participants, particularly in soccer. Oh, and something else. You might like to mention that we don't teach just English here. I mean, we're a language centre, not an English language centre. You may learn Spanish, Mandarin, and Russian here. And we can sometimes offer other languages. This means we can have some students who are native speakers of those languages as conversation partners for English-speaking students.
Who can do those courses?
At this time, any native speaker of English.
What about the people who are learning English? Can they do a non-English language course?
At this time, only if they've almost finished their English language course. You see...
Okay, so the first lady was asking, can they do a non-English language course, and another lady was saying, at this time, only if you have almost finished their English language course. Okay, so it means here we can say all students, beginner student and advanced student. So I choose it for advanced student. Okay, option should be the answer, as she was saying who they almost finished their English language course. That's why it would be option C. Okay, let's listen for Jazz Club. Okay.
We try very hard to involve students who are native speakers of English as conversation leaders, and we encourage our students to join groups on the campus. For instance, if they enjoy music, there's an active jazz group available to everyone, and that's a lot of fun.
So jazz group is available to everyone. So in question number, so everyone means all students. So it would be option A for question number 27. Let's listen it for question number 28. Drama Society. Let's listen it.
On the other hand, Elementary students can't go to the drama group. Their English.
So elementary means a beginner. So a beginner cannot enter to drama group. So option C would be the answer, because not she was saying elementary students are not allowed, so that means it would be, they would be obviously advanced student. Okay, now let's listen to for choral group. Okay, let's listen to
Just isn't ready for that sort of activity. But the university choir welcomes all the singers it can find. They often do large productions that need a lot of voices.
So in question number 29, we should select option A, because she was saying, but the university choir welcomes all. So all means the all students. So that's why it would be option A. Okay. Now let's listen it for question number 30. Special conversation group. Okay. Okay, we are out of time. I need to submit it, and let's start it again. Okay, as we are out of time, I need to re-click each option one more time. Just give me a few sec. I will not too much time to clicking each question one more time. Okay, just be patient. Oh no, it's not working. Be patient. It was C, we need to select C, it was A, we need to select A. B, it's okay, what it's C, select C, it's A, we need to select A again. Okay, let's listen it for question number 30. Okay, special conversation group, let's listen it.
Section 1.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
To
Get the sports centre. I'm and course. The group has already fingers. Elementary students only. Really pleased if you could write about the courses we offer in foreign languages.
Yes, thanks.
Centre classrooms and in various disciplines on this campus.
We'll now have some time to check your answers. End of section.
On this campus. Our students leave us and then study for degrees in various disciplines on this campus. Us and then our club.
Interested in that. Thank you for
In foreign languages.
I think our readers would be very interested in that. Thank you for your time, Dr. Robinson.
Yes, thank you very much.
Goodbye. Thank you for giving.
Robinson.
Sorry to say there are special
Students.
I wish they were. I'm sorry to say they're a special service we provide for elementary students only. Is there anything else I can tell you? Is there anything else I can tell you?
I imagine the special conversation groups are open to all your students. I imagine the special conversation groups are open to all your students.
I wish they were. I'm sorry to say they're a special service we provide for elementary students only.
So special conversation group would be just for elementary students. So elementary student means beginners. So elementary and beginners are synonym of each other. So option B would we need to select. Okay, for question number 30. So that's all about part 3. Let's jump into part 3. Okay, here we have question number 30 to 37, 31 to 37. First we need to solve. Okay, so choose the correct letter A, B, or C, or A, B, C, or D. Okay, most postgraduate students are studying. Let's highlight and let's listen it.
Listen to the speaker's advice and answer questions 31 to 37.
Postgraduates are about as easy to define as catching steam in a bucket. Courses can be vocational, for training, as research, as a preparation for research, or a combination of these. Also, you can choose between full-time and part-time. Increasingly, the approach to postgraduate study is becoming modular. The vast majority of postgraduates are doing short, taught courses, many of which provide specific vocational training.
Okay, so the vast majority, almost most of them. Okay, so you should saying the vast majority of postgraduates are doing short taught course, many of which provide specific vocational training. So option A would be the answer because it's courses that features a vocational training. Okay, as she was saying, provide specific vocational training, so that's why it would be option A. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Postgraduate students are advised to take as many diverse subjects as possible, except an intellectual challenge. Be sure to have a definite goal, have already completed training. Let's listen it.
Indeed, there has been a 400% increase in postgraduate numbers in Britain over the past 20 years. Current figures stand at just under 400,000. People undertake postgraduate study for many reasons. These may be academic, intellectual challenge, development of knowledge, vocational, training for a specific career goal, or only vague, drifting into further study. It is essential that you determine the reasons you want to become a postgraduate. If you have...
So she was saying it is essential that determine the reason you want to become a postgraduate. So be sure to have a definite goal. Okay, as she was saying, it's essential that you determine the reason. So determine the reason. B, it's similar to be sure to have definite goal. Okay, now let's listen for question 33. The speaker says that while you study, speaker says that while you study is of minimal importance, must be somewhere you like, must be reasonably priced, should be based on your course. Okay, let's listen it.
clear goals and reasons for studying, this will enhance your learning experience and help you to remain focused and motivated throughout your course. Where you study should be based on much more than the course you want to do. For some courses, you are likely to be there for several years, and it is important that you are happy living there. Check also what type of accommodation is available and whether the...
Okay, so she was saying it is important that you are happy living there. So must be somewhere you like. So that means you it's important that you are happy living there. Okay, so that's why the answer will be option B. Let's listen for question number 34. Choosing an institution should be mainly based on blah blah the quality of the housing for postgraduate students, its reputation of the department they work in, the reputation of the organization, they attend, the quality of the uh, supervision they receive. Let's listen it.
Institution provides any housing specifically for postgraduates. Choosing an institution and department is a difficult process. To determine quality, do not rely on the reputation of an institution, but find out what ratings are from the most recent assessment exercises. Find out about the staff, their reputation, competence, enthusiasm, and friendliness. Visit the department if possible and talk to existing postgraduates about their experience, satisfaction, comments, and complaints. Most importantly, check how they feel about their supervisors.
Most importantly, she was saying at the last, she was talking about a lot of things, so you have to avoid them. Lastly, she was saying, most importantly, that means this is the main point. Most importantly, check how they feel about the supervisor. Okay, where is it? Supervisor? Where is supervisor? Okay, option D would be the answer. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 35. It's really interesting one because many people will be puzzled with these three options, but at the last she was saying the main point. Okay, don't be confused. Sometimes it's tricky, but you have to be clever to play with that trick, their tricks. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 35. In terms of available facilities, the speaker places more important on uh, libraries and laboratories, computer support, then secretarial service, and in option D it says the working environment. Let's listen it.
Also, check what facilities are available, both at an institutional level, for example, libraries, laboratory, and computing facilities, and in the department, for example, study room, desk, photocopying, secretarial support, etc. Everyone will have their own priorities here. I'm always anxious to check the computer support available and regard it as slightly more important than library access.
So here's another question. It's a tricky one. Don't be confused. A lot of things he was saying, everything, every option he was talking about libraries, um, a lot of things he was talking, but lastly she was saying, I'm always anxious to check the computer support available. So the answer would be option B. Okay. Now let's listen it for question number 36. The experience of the postgraduate is different because of higher living expenses of the moderator workload. The majority of students are younger. Course deadlines are stricter. Okay, stricter. Let's listen it.
Your working environment and the support available to you plays an essential part in making your work as a postgraduate a positive experience. Life as a postgraduate can be very different to your other experiences of education. Things that can distinguish your experience are the level of study, independence of working, intensity of the course, the demands on your time, and often the fact that you are older than the majority of the students.
Okay, so she was saying lastly, often the fact that you are older than the majority of student. Course deadline. Okay, so I think I should select option C because it says the majority of students are younger. So the question says experience of postgraduate is different because the majority of the student are younger, and we was listening like she was talking often the fact that you are older than majority of the students. So that's what the answer will be option C. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 37. Postgraduate can avoid feeling alone by discussing any problem with a medical professional, joining association of their peers, participating in outside community activities, getting in touch with the student union. Let's listen it.
These factors can contribute to making you feel isolated. However, there are several ways you can make sure that this is either short-lived or does not happen at all. Many student unions have postgraduate societies that organize social events and may also provide representation for postgraduates to both the student union and the institution.
So she was saying many student unions have postgraduate societies that organize social events, and many also provide representation for postgraduates to both the student union. So postgraduate societies that organize social events. So the answer we should select is B, because joining association of the peers. Okay. Now let's listen it for question number 38 to 40. So which three things does the speaker mention? Three things does the speaker mention in relation to a postgraduate's financial situation? So let's listen it.
Departments can also help to create a sense of identity and community, and often have discussion groups available. Don't be afraid to talk to staff about any difficulties you might be having. Of course, universities provide counselling services, but we have found that the best advice comes from talking to other postgraduates who may have faced similar difficulties.
Look at questions 38 to 40. To 40.
Financial planning is essential, since the government excludes postgraduates from student loans and it can be difficult to maintain your student status.
Okay, so she was saying financial planning is essential since the government excludes postgraduates from student loan. So postgraduates are not eligible for government student loan. So here option A would be the answer. Okay, let's listen it for the next two options.
With banks. This has implications for free banking and overdraft facilities. Do not underestimate your living costs, including food, accommodation, and travel, and be careful not to budget for everything except a social life. Funding a course is one of the most challenging things people face when considering postgraduate study. Most postgraduate students are self-financing. They pay, often very large, fees and receive no maintenance income to support their study.
Okay, she was saying they pay often very large fees and receive no maintenance income to support their study. Okay. So visual funding can be from charities. No, studies are funded from students' own income, and she was saying they pay often very large fees and receive no maintenance income to support their study. Can be issued from students' own income. So option C would be the answer. Okay, as she was saying, they pay often very large fees and receive no maintenance income to support their study. Okay, let's listen it for question number 40 and last option. Okay, let's listen it.
Make sure you know exactly what your costs will be. Institutions often hide extra fees like laboratory costs behind the headline fee rate advertised. Funding can come from various sources. research councils, charities, trust funds, institutional scholarships, local
Okay, so she's saying funding can come from various sources, research councils, charities, just trust funds, institutional scholarship. So she was talking about funding. Funding can be sourced from charities. It would be the answer. Okay, so you're done, and let's submit it together, and let's check how much we scored. Okay, we got 9 out of 9, and we are correct. 40 question out of 40. Okay, so here we didn't mistake a single question. Okay, so congratulations to you all. I hope you will be always with me to practice listening. And that's all about today's lesson. I hope I will see you tomorrow and I will be back again with another lesson tomorrow. So see you in the next class. So bye for them. Bye.